No?
No.
I'm not a big fan of this band. I didn't ever listen to them too much, but that's just like Heaven by The Cure.
Okay. Yeah. Not one I ever got big into.
Yeah, me neither. But we're stuck in the '80s right now, so.
I mean, I'm aware that Robert Smith is a legend in a lot of circles, but it's just never a band that I got into.
Me neither. Me neither. I don't know. I mean, I always know them when I hear them.
Yeah.
But that's just like Heaven by The Cure.
Okay. Cool. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Great Measures. Mm-hmm.
Got a band today called Russian Circles.
Okay.
Song is called Gnosis. Gnosis.
Like knowledge.
Sure.
Knowing.
Yeah.
Like GN?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of how to... so there's no lyrics. It's a completely instrumental band.
Okay.
Based out of Chicago.
Okay.
And
Russian Circles out of Chicago. That's a Greek name.
so Russian Circles is a hockey drill. And the two founding members played hockey growing up, and that's why they named their...
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I'm a big hockey fan. I never played hockey, so I don't know anything about Russian Circles.
Right. So this kind of goes into what we've been talking about over the last few videos. I'm not going to skew your
Yes, you are.
opinion. No. I'm just going to tell you there's a video that goes with it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want it to be like my opinion forced into this. I'll just tell you there's a video that goes with it, a visualizer type video.
Okay.
And we'll just get into it. You ready?
Yep.
All right, this is Gnosis by Russian Circles. Ready to roll?
Proceed, Richard. What did you think about that one, Richard?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
How are you?
Yeah,
That's
this is
surprising.
considered post-metal, so I've learned over the last, year and a half or so of expanding my listening to other branches of the metal world. Post-metal is
That's something you dig.
it's becoming near and dear to me. Yeah.
Near and dear.
Yeah. I think the visualizer, the audio, the video that goes along with it is really interesting. Spanning the distance of
All of everything.
time, which I think is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like instrumental music. If you were listening to that and not having a visualizer with it, I really like the guitars work.
Yeah.
And how they come. I mean, it's an instrumental band, so you pay attention to things like this. An interlude to a song and working your way into it, and you have the freedom to do that then if you're not working on trying to put words with each part.
Yeah, for sure.
You can just do you can just do one thing, build up, and then however you want it. You can do whatever you want. But you can do these 2-3 minute building of the instruments, layering things, and I just like how the delay stuff that they had going on. But if you didn't have the visualizer with it, you would still hear the budding of a soundscape.
Yeah.
So, and that's sort of what I think that the visualizer was it started with, there's, chlorophyll going on in there. Mm-hmm. And then the basis of a human being and stuff like that. It started off with, and then there were the artistic images and even paintings of artists.
Yeah.
And which I think is really cool. By showing the artist, you're showing a painting of the artist, which is what the artist did.
Yeah.
And then the statues and then the church imagery, and then the science, went through all the science stuff, It went through everything. It covered everything. History and printing of things, books and whatever, and then industrial revolution stuff and wars and bullets and nature and just everything.
Everything.
And being Gnosis, the Greek word for knowledge. There was the book burning. There was some images in there I thought were really cool, where it had a rose on fire.
Okay.
And then of course I had the book on fire. And I can take it how I want. Mm-hmm. And a rose on fire is really cool because a rose is pretty, but it's burning. And so just that image together shows you, that would be a sad thing, I think. If you were to try to apply your emotion to it, you would say, that's beauty on fire, it's going to go away. Mm-hmm. But combining them together shows you they're the same thing. I heard something interesting.
Lay it on me.
This is sort of a deviation.
Okay.
I was listening to Richard Feynman. Are you
I know
familiar?
the name.
He's a theoretical physicist.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember during the Challenger stuff, they had a committee that went up, and he was the guy that put one of the O-rings in the water and showed that at 32 degrees it would get brittle, and it's the O-ring problem.
Okay.
And they got wet, and then it got cold, and then they didn't work, and that's why the Challenger blew up.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was a really cool dude. I think he's from Brooklyn or something, or he's from New York, I believe, and he's got a cool way of talking. But he was talking about how, and I'll butcher some of this, but he was talking about how, where do you think trees come from? Generally, they come from the ground.
Yeah.
Well, they don't.
Okay.
They actually come from the air.
Okay.
Because you have, because basically you have carbon dioxide, which and CO2, which ends up breaking up It's carbon and then oxygen, and when the tree is made, it's basically the sunlight that makes it, and then when the sunlight makes the carbon and the oxygen split, and that's why the trees give you oxygen, because there's a release of oxygen and then the carbon. Now, of course, I'm butchering some of this, but it doesn't come from the soil, so to speak, because the rain falls.
Okay.
So that's why anything grows there. So it actually comes from the air too. Mm-hmm. The tree is really made of air, because eventually, when you burn the tree, and I'm skipping a lot of stuff here, but when you burn the tree, that oxygen and carbon are forced back together by the fire. And then the heat and the light that you get of the release of burning the tree is actually the accumulation of sunlight that it received while it was growing. Okay. And it releases it back into the air. Okay. That's carbon dioxide. Okay. Because when you separate carbon and oxygen from each other, there's a violent there's a reaction. Yeah. But anyway. Or when you apply, anyway, like I said, I butchered some of that, but trees actually come from the air. Okay. I don't know where I was kind of going with that, other than the idea that you can look at something like a rose on fire. I guess that's where the thing came from, but that you don't have. So it seems as though to me that we are given opportunities in our thinking, metaphysical way of being, if you want to call it that, with scenarios in this simulation that we're in, where we then have the ability, if we want, to apply meaning to it, which I think is the trick. So by doing so, then you end up on a side, or you end up on a right or wrong, which is a side. Someone's right or someone else is wrong, and then you end up applying emotion to that, and then you end up defining yourself based on those things, and then you're building this ego. You're building this thing, which is in conflict with everything else, because it's the other side of a coin of something else. And bands like this, I think, even though they are showing you what knowledge is by calling the song Gnosis and then giving you images of what an accumulation of the knowledge of stuff is, the music still, again, going back to what I was saying before, you wouldn't necessarily think of all that stuff if you were just listening to the song. Right. But it's not. By just naming the song Gnosis, you're already saying this song is about knowledge. Well, you don't know what kind of knowledge, and then they tell you it can be all the knowledge. Mm-hmm. So it is sort of some direction. You still are taking a cue from them. But I don't know, maybe I guess I'm trying to say, like, music in its purest form doesn't give you cues. It just gives you a soundscape to work with. Mm-hmm. And whenever you lyrically whenever you box something in with lyrics, you end up defining the sound that you're hearing. We were talking about this before. When you put a bunch of, when a genre of music decides to adhere to a certain subject matter, they end up defining the sound and sort of, cornering the sound as being that this is the type of way wear black shirts now and think about death, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Sure. And then when you hear something like this, you realize that is not the case at all. It doesn't have to be the case at all. And then maybe all music should just not have lyrics, unless, like Igor, they're just making up sounds.
From now on, we'll never do another song with lyrics.
Oh, man. We need to.
Yeah, we'll have to, for sure. I'm joking.
I'm sure there's enough music out there where we wouldn't have to, but what would we talk about?
That's a good question.
If I'm not just being short-sighted and why are you talking about maggots? If we're not doing that, then what are we talking about?
your existence wouldn't be meaningless.
Yeah, I'd have no hope. I'd be hopeless.
Then you'd officially be a metalhead.
Yeah, and I don't want to be anything. I thought it went by like that because you're not, there's no measurement of time, of length in there when you're just going with them through their dream
it's a
of
journey
sound.
for sure. Yeah.
You know? So then you don't, then now it's timeless. Now you end up in this, always in the now, listening to it, following them. Like again, it's choiceless awareness where you're just aware and paying attention. You're giving them your attention without making any judgments at all about where they're going, and then it's over. And then you're like, wow, that didn't go on for 8 minutes, did it?
Yeah.
If we were to have just listened to an 8-minute Metallica song, 4 minutes in, I'd have been going, because the lyrics, I've already would have heard 2 verses and a couple of choruses.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's weird how that works.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's just, it seems like it's a, I don't know, maybe our music has been hijacked.
By?
Them. The same people that take all our money for things we don't know what they're taking our money for. To make us not think, because music is such an avenue of contemplative, actual awareness.
And they don't want you to be aware.
They don't want you to be aware, so they instituted lyrics. And then nowadays it's just cliched sayings that they're, my Nikes, just do it. And
Is that a song?
I don't know. Probably.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Probably.
But having to do with just whatever they want you to buy, and then they're robbing music, where music is probably one of the greatest, most purest avenues to find awareness, or to enter into the room at least.
Yeah.
And they can take that away by putting labels and words and directed thought, where you don't have to do anything. Just listen to it, believe what it says, raise up your fist and say, I believe that.
What's it all for?
Well, it's my opinion too now. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is probably the end of this channel right now.
There's no point in going further.
We just figured it all out.
Yeah.
It's over. We're gonna have to find something else to react to.
Yeah.
Silently reacting. We'll just have videos
Something
and we
else
just
to
sit
talk
here.
about. That's the end of that video.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. Russian circles.
Russian circles.
Out
Gnosis.
of Chicago. Good stuff. At least we didn't go down the road of Gnosticism. We could have done that for a while.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that.
We'd
So,
still be going
lucky for you,
tomorrow.
because I know some stuff about them.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We are Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson. That was Gnosis by Russian Circles.
Great measures.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.